Absolutely. Homeland Security plans to scan air travelers' bodily functions. And here's another one. New technology assist with evacuee tracking. And there they are getting the little bracelets that they also have been reporting they're going to make us take at the checkpoints. If you don't have that bracelet, you'll be taken off to a FEMA camp, according to the police and military that are speaking out. And Homeland Security says, yes, we are studying that right now. Thank you so much, Mike Rivero. We'll see you next month at whatreallyhappened.com. Of course, always we'll be able to check you out there. Thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Camp FEMA directors and producers coming up. Stay with us. William Lewis, maker of Camp FEMA, joins us, along with the producer, Gary Franchi. When they approached me about being in the film, I was very excited, and I consulted on it. I worked with them on making sure the information was accurate, and they've done a great job. It shows how we've turned into a prison economy, how our entire economy is converting over to surveillance, prisons, police state. We have more prisons than any other country in the world. The federal government designates sports stadiums and other facilities as mass holding centers, mass inoculation centers. They go over all of that. They show the gun confiscations in New Orleans. They show the Rex 84, the admitted camp plans, the government documents. They actually go out to some of the camps. And I just got back from spending 3 days in Hardin, Montana, just to show how corrupt society is, where a known convicted felon con artist could just come into town. The tiny town of 3,500 built a 464-bed prison. They wanted to put Abu Ghraib people in there. They wanted to put Camp X-ray people in there. Now they just want to put the citizens, and they call it an economic development plan. Prisons, that's what we have, is putting you in jail. And so this is all around us. And then you dovetail it with all the surveillance and the Big Brother and the Homeland Security plans to scan air travelers' bodily functions. All of this is unfolding, so I wanted to get the makers of Camp FEMA on today. And I wanted to remind listeners we have it available at Infowars.com right now. Again, Infowars.com. It is available for everybody out there. We hope that people will go and order it and show it to their friends and family, because this film needs to be seen. Camp FEMA available right now. Let's go to Gary Franchi and William Lewis. Guys, good to have you on the show with us.
Hey, man. Glad to be here. Back.
Let's go to Franchi first. Franchi, this is your first, I guess, big not directorial, but producer debut, and I'm glad that the film's a success because it needs to be seen.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it yourself just now about home screenings, and we want people to invite their friends and family over to their house, sit down and analyze the film, take the facts in, and spread this message, to their loved ones, because what's happening in America needs to stop. The demonizing of Constitution-loving Americans in the MIAC report, Homeland Security documents, the growth of this prison industrial complex, like you just went off to Hardin. These are all facts that are covered in the film that, obviously the mainstream media doesn't want to cover. Glenn Beck is just whitewashing the whole thing with popular mechanics. And, these facts need to be exposed, and that's why we put the film together, just to do that.
Well, I'm glad you did it. Let's go to William Lewis. William, in a nutshell, break down what Camp FEMA covers.
Okay, Camp FEMA, we start back in the 1940s, show people how these internment camps are really nothing new. This has happened before. We show the similarities between those camps that were built back in the 1940s and the HR 645 legislation that we see introduced recently by Alcee Hastings of Florida. And we compare what did they do back then, what do they want in this bill, how similar are they, and, come to find out they're very similar, in fact. We go through all of the legislation, the documentation, FBI, Senate, COINTELPRO, everything, trying to explain to people that this is really nothing new. This is a pattern we've established. And, we even see some of the same wording and the same phrases come up telling us what they want to do to us, how they want to do it. And now they've got internment camps being, just built right out in the open, contractors being hired to do it, and the National Guard is actually actively hiring for these positions of internment and resettlement specialists. all this together, put some photos with it, and we kind of show people that FEMA camps are no longer this internet-based conspiracy theory, that it is very much based in reality and based in black and white, as we showed in the documentary.
And the denial is over with this film. I mean, the rumor's in, the documentation is total. We need to have a national debate about how they're setting up fusion centers, putting Brigade Homeland on the streets, taking over our society. Camp FEMA does that. And so the denial can end. This country is turning into a giant prison grid. The military-industrial complex is just coming back to America and taking us over and ruling us and making their police state profitable. You have all these private interests that make the profits off what they've set up.
Well, I mean, that's what's happening. Look at the prison inmate labor program.
Absolutely. All right, man, stay there. I want to come back. I want people to be able to call in, too, and ask you guys questions about Camp FEMA, what you've learned about the New World Order's Gulag Archipelago. We'll tie it into Hardin, Montana, with big developments there on the other side. 1-800-259-9231. More financial news and flu news coming up, too.